Well, it appears that at launch, Doom Eternal on Stadia will not be 4K native resolution as we all suspected, per the comments made by id Software at GDC 2019. However, a deeper dive into all these developments beckons the question, is Stadia's version being harmed by PARITY? Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Or I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the Stadia Dosage. Before we get too deep into this one, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. I appreciate all of y'all straight up because y'all know the deal, y'all know the slogan, and y'all know the reason. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into it. All right, so here's the thing, y'all. Yesterday, or the day prior to this recording rather, I came across some breaking news. Big up to the homie Raph Gaming and big ups to the homie Duncan, who reported this, but Raph came across something in the Stadia stratosphere that showed that Doom Eternal for Stadia was not launching at true 4K. And actually the Stadia stratosphere was the Bethesda home website. And big ups to him. Raph is a up and rising star in the Stadia community, so big ups to him for that find. What it had showed on the Doom Eternal website is that at launch, it was going to be a native 1440p upscaled to 4K. And the reason why that's the story is because, like I said in the bumper, at GDC 2019, that was the actual 4K, true 4K game, that the only one really that was pronounced prior to the launch of Stadia. And I think what happened was a lot of people heard that Doom was going to be native 4K and assumed that that was being proposed for all games at launch on Stadia, or that were launching on Stadia. And that wasn't the case. If you rewatch GDC 2019, Doom Eternal was the only one. But it's easy to understand how people make that confusion. I make that confusion as well. You know what I mean? That being said, you do have one game in particular, Doom Eternal, which was supposed to be native 4K resolution, true 4K at launch, right? And now it's not that. So in light of all that, we reached out to Google via Twitter because we knew the crap storm that was coming. And we said, Google, you got to get ahead of this messaging. You know, we understand that your stance is you don't tell the developers what to do. They do whatever they feel comfortable doing. But they particularly went on your stage and said because of Vulkan that this was going to be 4K. So it made it seem like some special magic was happening and this game was going to be extra special. And now what we discover is that it's not going to be extra special, because it's going to run at the same native resolution as the Xbox One X. I get it, it's the most powerful console in the world, but you claim to have more teraflops and have more power than the most powerful console in the world. So we need answers. And on the heels of those answers being needed, here you go, like we predicted, Eurogamer came out with this article. Now on the surface, I can't be mad at Eurogamer for this article, because it does bring up the question, hey, you said it was going to be native 4K, how come it ain't native 4K? But then, after looking at everything, talking to my Stadia brethren, and trying to pan things out, it's very evident that this story is deeper than that. And we got issues not only with Stadia, you know what I'm saying, letting this slip by, at least in the communication format, but we got issues with id Software making this claim, then all of a sudden Stealth releasing lower resolution, and we got an issue with Eurogamer for not digging deeper because we got to do their job. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let's go over the parts of the Eurogamer article which I think are fair, okay? And their article reads, no, Doom Eternal is not true 4K on Google Stadia, despite it promising it would be. All right, Doom Eternal is not true 4K on Google Stadia. Developer id Software has confirmed. Rather, the blistering first-person shooter runs at 1080p and 60 frames per second on HD displays and upsamples to 2060p from 1800p at 60 frames per second on 4K displays. This news comes as a surprise, given Doom Eternal's position as one of the leading titles for Stadia, Google's use of the game to demo the tech to the press. And in fact, id promised that the game would run at true 4K a year ago. When Google unveiled the platform at the GDC in 2019, id boss Marty Stratton took to the stage to say Doom Eternal would run at true 4K, prompting a round of applause from the audience, and that is absolutely correct. If you're going to prove to the world that you can stream games from the cloud, what better proof than Doom, he actually said. And if you're going to prove a developer that to a developer that you're serious about building a robust platform, what better team than id, where we push the platform to its limits. We couldn't be happier to bring Doom Eternal to Stadia and are thrilled to announce the game would be capable of running true 4K resolution with HDR color at an unrelenting 60 frames per second. All right. On lieu of this though, here are some of the responses that I think that Eurogamer captured fairly. They continue to say, as expected, there was a degree of disappointment from Stadia owners to the news. Redditor EdPZ said, on one hand, 1800p upscale to 4K is at least better than 1440p or 1080p. You get the territory where less people are likely to notice. It still maintains 60 frames per second, which ties Stadia with the Xbox One X as the second best place to play the game in terms of performance. Okay, so I want to stop right there. I want to focus right there. Now, here's the thing. The power was bolstered in regards to Google Stadia. And we understand that maybe some things were taken out of context, particularly Doom's pronouncement of true 4K, and thought that was going to be spread across the board at the release of the console. And we've gotten over that. And Google Stadia has time after time announced more games, has gotten better at communication, has more robust lineups, things like of that nature, which right now is a better time than it was at launch for the platform at the very least. With that being said, you have a very staunch claim. You have a very, very staunch claim that can't nobody say was confused or mixed up. And someone has to be held accountable for that, for the sake of the gamer. I get this is the Stadia Dosage. I love what Google's proposing with this platform. And I truly, wholeheartedly believe, because I'm using just simple common sense, that over time this thing is going to be great. With that being said, we still gotta hold people accountable for the missteps, and when they recognize something is wrong, them not getting in front of it. And this is a clear case of Google not getting in front of it. But more importantly, I feel, and I said that at first to say Google don't get a pass on this, but more importantly than that, it was id Software that came on the stage and made this claim. Where is the responsibility of id to explain not only why it's not true 4K, but I want to show y'all something else. This is the original tweet from the homie Rev Gaming. He says confirmation of time dropping for Google's for Doom Eternal, and he shows that 21 hours prior to the time of this recording, as you can see right here, that on the Doom Eternal website, it showed that it was running at 1440p, 60 frames per second. Now, he doesn't have the clip here, but that was the same resolution and frame rate that the consoles had as well, well, the more powerful consoles had as well. They were all running at 1440p, but all of a sudden, it gets updated, as I note here, where I just say, look, I just find it weird that originally when Ralph Gaming made the discovery, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One X, and Stadia were all at 1440p upscale to 4K. All of a sudden, only the Xbox One X version and Stadia is upgraded to 1880p to 4K. Smells like pure parity. Eurogamer needs to reach out to Xbox too. Here it is, Ralph Gaming's original clip. But now, what the clip was at the time of this recording, it's now going to be at 1800p at 60 frames per second. But guess who else is at 1800p? oh, Xbox One X is all of a sudden. And then you still got the PlayStation 4 Pro still just holding at 1440p. So I ask, who has the marketing rights to this thing? That is very prevalent here. It's prevalent because we've seen hints of this before. Remember when it came down to Destiny 2, where there were claims that it could possibly do 60 frames per second? But it was held to only 30 frames because 60 frames per second wasn't possible on the PlayStation 4 Pro, and PlayStation had the marketing rights to Destiny 2. And then it got to the point to where, but prior to launch, they wouldn't even announce if Destiny 2 on Xbox One X would have HDR. They wouldn't even announce that. Like, come on now. These parity situations suck, and they're horrible for the gamer, right? Horrible for the gamer. And I'm not saying it's 100% proven that this has happened, but the question back is, this is all crazy. Why, first and foremost, would id Software, a very competent developer, go up on stage and make such a profound claim? Show the software off to developers apparently at true 4K. For it only at launch to be bumped down to 1440p at first, but then all of a sudden get raised to 1800p because Xbox is raised to 1800p? And so then that brings me into my final point. Eurogamer. I can dig the article to a certain extent, but where is your due diligence in all of this? You were all over the stuff when people were talking about Destiny and so forth, but where was your due diligence on this? Don't you find this weird? Or no, you ain't worried about that. You're just worried about another clickbaity article that you kind of like scaled down a little bit in your rhetoric, but it's still gonna get you your clicks that Stadia sucks. And see, this is why I say this. This is why I say this, y'all. At the end of this thread that we're working on right now to try to get to the bottom of things, I say, well, without disclosure and transparency, that's what brews this stuff right here, that's going on right here. We warned of it yesterday in reference to me reaching out to Google and saying, y'all better get ahead of this message. But what's additionally sad is we now have to do Eurogamer's job and ask the questions, opposed to just another lofty Stadia sucks article with no depth. It's a shame. Everyone fails the gamer. Period. That's what's happening here, and it's sad. And again, like I said, I like Google Stadia. I like what Google is proposing here. I think this has a bright future, but I'm not here for Google. Y'all know me. I'm a Bethesda fan. I love what id does. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to Doom Eternal, but I'm not here for Bethesda. I appreciate the article from Eurogamer. I appreciate the fact that they laid it out there. They put the article out there real nice and there's not too much rhetoric, but I'm not here for Eurogamer. Everybody in this equation failed to do something for the sake of the gamer. We're the ones putting our money on the wood. So everybody has to answer up to this and everybody has to do better. And for Eurogamer, you're supposed to be more closer to us, the consumer, than you are to them. Stop worrying about just purely your bottom line for clicks. Where is the due diligence on this? Because these are questions that are arising now. You're part of the thread, so ask the question. No one said to assume that anything is going on, but we gotta ask the question at the very least. Because until everybody starts doing their job, then again, it's all nothing but, let's say it again together. Hashtag everyone fails the gamer. And that's it from your boy MM2K. Let me know what you think about what I had to say in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you do like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, here to Stadia Dosage. And let me leave out with this. Despite all this, I'm upset at the lack of transparency to the gamer, because gamers should know what's going on for things that they're putting their money on. And publications that are supposed to be for the gamer should actually be for the gamer, not just for clicks. But at the end of the day, Doom Eternal is going to look great on your platform. Don't feel like that you're not going to get a great experience because we know Stadia performs great. But again, we just want these entities to be transparent with us. That's all we ask for. And with that said, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.